All right, welcome back to another After Dark, everyone. Hope you all having a good night so far. Hope you guys had a wonderful day. So I'm continuing my journey of going down the members requests, the playlist, and picking the oldest one first and just chipping off that way, just because I feel bad for the ones who've been waiting the longest. This is the new longest one. No giggity. This is the one that's been waiting there in the playlist for the longest. I don't know why I never reacted to this. This is right up my alley. This is The Art of Scoring, Michael Jordan from Basketball Universe. Absolutely, I want to watch this. Let's keep it going. I've been liking the extended Jordan content here for reactions lately. It's sad if I only get to talk about Jordan for 2 days or 1 day a month. So anyways, let's get to this, you guys. I'm linking the original video from Basketball Universe down below in the description. Y'all know I love this channel. Y'all know I've reacted to dozens of these videos by now, probably. So go check it out. Link is down below. You also see a list of channel members. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate your all's patience. Like the video, hype the video, all that good stuff. Let's do this.
He was poetry in motion. He was a master craftsman. Sports trainer Chip Schaefer worked with Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant extensively. To this day, he marvels at how graceful Michael was as he moved up the floor. He once said, "What I do for a living is all about athletic movement, and I've never seen anybody else move like that. The only word for it is beautiful." He was right. There was just something different about him. In its most simplistic terms, basketball is all about putting the ball in the basket.
Yep.
That is the objective. In all of basketball history, we have never seen anyone score in the manner that Michael Jordan did. From the outside looking in, he made it look incredibly easy. But trust me, there was a method to his madness. When he first entered the league, the first thing everyone noticed was his athleticism and talent.
For sure.
Other than Julius Erving, we had never seen anyone who could hang in the air as long as he could. This gave him an advantage that no other player has ever had. Rick Tallender, the sports writer for the Chicago Sun-Times, said it perfectly after witnessing what he did to the Boston Celtics in the 1986 first-round series. It was during the 63-point outburst that basketball fans could see a new philosophy being established. Basketball coaches have always told their players to know what they're doing before they leave the ground. And here was Michael Jordan leaping into the air, soaring, without any precise notion at all of what he might do.
Nope.
Just waiting to react to awkward situations.
Yeah, he's just improvising in midair, for sure.
The air had become his ground. End of quote. From that point forward,
the air had become his ground. I like it.
Air Jordan had taken off in every sense of the word. The things that he can do under and above the basket were unheard of. But as it was mentioned previously, he would decide what kind of move he was executing while he was in midair. He confirmed this when he explained his thought process after Game 2 of the 1991 NBA Finals.
He's just reacting to what the defense is doing in response to him. It's like a call, answer, call. You know, next play.
This was after he wowed the basketball world with a spectacular move. He said, "Cliff Livingston threw it back to me, and I saw a clear lane to the basket, so I was going to dunk the ball.
Then he saw Perkins.
I exposed the ball, but then I saw the long arms of Sam Perkins there, and it was just instinct to change."
Yeah, he thought he was going to jump up. Look, it looks like he's about to jump up. I understand.
And I changed it.
But he changed his mind, and right when he changes his mind, MJ is reacting to what he thought. He thought the block was coming, so he's going to shift it to the offside. It just turns out this was completely unnecessary, but in the moment, I get what he was doing.
To my left hand and was able to get it off. End of quote. His ability to change direction and glide past defenders in midair allowed us to see some of the most breathtaking moves. But the question is, when would Michael decide whether or not to drive to the rim? He talked about this after recording the second highest scoring game in NBA Finals history.
Why we gotta always do it? I was just trying to have a good time and watch some Jordan stuff, man.
This was Game 4 of the 1993 Finals, when he scored 55 points
Double
on
nickel.
57% shooting.
Yeah, he did.
This is what he said.
And we just watched it recently. Charles Barkley did foul him. I don't know why he did. He left his feet. He had the perfectly planted position to get that charge on MJ, but then he left his feet.
5 points on
and you have to see it from the other angle, but I put it in slow-mo, and we saw My man Barkley left his damn feet.
57% shooting. This is what he said.
Well, I picked and choose my times to penetrate. When the court seems to be open, that's when I was trying to do that. I didn't really allow myself or allow the situation to get it within a set. Once we got in a set, the defense was alert. I did a lot of my penetration when the defense was not alert.
That was the key. Jordan was always in attack mode. The opposing defense needed to be incredibly disciplined if they wanted to erase any easy scoring opportunities in the painted area.
Jeez.
It truly took all 5 players to stop him. If just one person was sleeping on the job, he would make the entire team pay.
Kaboom.
The reason it took a team effort was that it was virtually impossible to stay in front of him. It was common knowledge during his career that he had the quickest first step.
Yeah.
Check out what Sports Illustrated published.
Especially in the 80s, man. Mid-80s, like 85, 86 Jordan. Oh, my God.
In 1997, when Michael was 34 years old. They had an article titled, Quickest First Step. They wrote, not too long ago, this poll of one representative from each of the league's 29 teams would have been a waste of time.
Barry Sanders, Michael Jordan. Quickest first steps ever.
Only one player would have received votes, Michael Jordan. His reign as the NBA's most explosive player continues. He topped our list with 13 votes, 9 more than rookie Allen Iverson.
Nice.
End of quote.
Ooh, yeah. I mean, rookie Allen Iverson had a hell of a first step, too.
If they were saying this when he wasn't in his athletic prime, imagine when he was at his peak. For many fans, he had the quickest first step in league history, and it's not an exaggeration. Let's not forget that he played during an era where hand checking was permitted.
Yeah.
But
you had to be quick. It's the only way to get around it.
That defensive tactic was going to stop him from blowing by his defender. But it wasn't just his quickness that made him impossible to guard. As the league's defense grew more physical, Michael saw the need to get bigger. He needed to be able to take the punishment. Each season that passed, he looked noticeably stronger. Phil Jackson wrote something very interesting in his book titled 11 Rings. There's one chapter where he talked about the difference between Kobe and Jordan. He said, Michael was more likely to break through his attackers with his power and strength, while Kobe often tries to finesse his way through mass pile-ups. Michael was stronger, with bigger shoulders and a sturdier frame.
True.
He also had large hands that allowed him to control the ball better and make subtle fakes. End of quote.
Yeah.
This was someone...
Now, Kobe did bulk up in the second half of his career, but it's still completely valid. I see what Phil's saying.
Who could finish through contact and punish a rim protector who dared try to block his shot. They rarely ever succeeded. The least they could do was to put him in the free throw line, which was by design. It's the easiest way to get points, and Jordan always saw the importance of forcing the opposition to foul. There's a reason why he currently ranks 7th all-time in career free throw.
James Harden, of course. LeBron James, yeah. Karl Malone, wow, number 1. Moses, I mean, yeah, post players. LeBron as a perimeter player is number 2, but that's because also he's been playing forever. Cool list. KD, Oscar Robinson, Dirk, Jerry West at number 10.
Made. But let's think about for a second what this all means. He was taking a lot of punishment by going to the hoop this much. This means that defenses would try to pack the painted area as much as possible. The game plan against Michael was to force him to take outside shots. In the early stages of his career, this wasn't considered to be his strength. As the years went on, he improved. He admitted, however, that he was more of a rhythm shooter. He needed to take 2 or 3 steps before shooting. The next step was to learn how to shoot standstill shots. He mastered that skill as well. By the time he won his first title, he was gaining a reputation as a pure shooter. Check out what Sports Illustrated writer Jack McCallum wrote after beating the Lakers. Jordan is now a better shooter than Bird. Not from long range certainly, but from 20 feet in. End of quote.
Oh, I believe he's the best mid-range shooter of all time, yeah.
What was considered a weakness was now a strength. The shot that they wanted him to take was going in nearly every time. And in
the mid-range, like he would be double-team, triple-team sometimes. He'd be shooting half of the shots, spinning away from oncoming double teams, fadeaways. Phenomenal that he had such a great percentage.
Peak, there was no defensive game plan that you could execute to stop him. If you were worried about the drive, he could sink 20-footers all game long. If you start worrying about the jump shot, he would easily drive by for an exciting move at the rim. You were simply at his mercy. That explains his remarkable stretch from 1988 to 1993. He averaged over 30 points per game while shooting over 50% for 5 straight seasons.
Crazy.
Only Will Chamberlain was able to have that impressive streak. The difference is that all the shots he took were near the basket. Jordan was scoring from all over the court.
Yep.
He averaged a combined 32.5 points per game on 53% shooting. Thanks to his work ethic, he now had a skill that he could fall back on whenever his athleticism started to fade. Let's remember, it took a while for this to happen. He was voted as having the quickest first step in 1997. However, in his second three-peat run, he needed to pick and choose when he was going to drive to the rim. He needed to conserve his energy as much as he could to play at his best in the playoffs. During the mid to late 90s, he was the best post-up player in the game. For example, this is what Hubie Brown said about his post-up game. At the end of his career, Michael transformed himself into one of the best post-up players in the NBA.
Agreed.
He was nearly...
That's why I never have a problem putting him at a small forward when we're doing all-time starting lineups. I never have a problem doing it. And I don't think he would either. He'd be like, whatever. Do you get me the ball in the post? I'd be like, yes, sir, MJ. Every play, I'm getting you the ball in the post. He's like, I don't care. If I'm shooting guard, center, whatever the hell, put me there. I'll do the job.
Unstoppable because he perfected his bump and fade away jump shot. That one move, never mind all the other things that he could do with his back to the basket, made him one of the most dominating post players in the game.
Yeah, ironically, I think the two most unstoppable moves in NBA history are both post moves. Jordan's fadeaway and Kareem's skyhook.
End of quote. The numbers back up what his eyes were telling him. Let's keep in mind that the shot tracking data only goes as far back as the 1996.
I'll give a little shout out for Dirk's one-legged fadeaway jump shot as well out of the post.
/97 season. As this chart indicates, courtesy of ESPN,
wow,
he was the best mid-range scorer on the planet. Out of the 1,100 mid-range shots he took, he converted on 49.5%. Just for comparison,
so interesting that he actually had a better average with 3 balls from the top of the key. It's interesting. You would expect here. He never took baseline threes. Look at that. Never took baseline threes. Very interesting. But yeah, I do remember him shooting a ton right here from the top. And it would normally be early in plays.
He converted on 49.5%. Just for comparison, Reggie Miller hit 42.4% of his mid-range jumpers on 484 attempts. This is what Jordan did while taking highly contested shots. That's why the teams discourage players from taking mid-range jumpers. You're not going to get easy looks. It takes a highly skilled and precise shooter to put up those kind of numbers while taking the least efficient shot in the game. And this was
speaking of the video from earlier today. That's one of the reasons I do like SGA, because it takes a ton of creativity and patience to get these mid-range shots off the way he does. SGA is really good at it too.
Consider Michael's peak. Expect those numbers to be higher if this was tracked before his first retirement. We also don't want to forget that Jordan was a focal point for opposing defenses. It was all about stopping him. The degree of difficulty on the shots he was making was insane, but he had the necessary skills to be efficient while making highly contested shots. No matter how hard his defenders tried, they just couldn't stop his fadeaway. Just like many people say that Kareem's skyhook was unblockable.
Hey, great minds think alike.
The same can be said about Jordan's signature shot.
Agreed.
But that was the last part of a series of moves he would make before fading away from his defender. It all starts with his impeccable footwork. It allowed him to get just enough space or even to completely free himself for a wide open shot. If he noticed you were too aggressive, he would pump fake and have an open look at the basket. He could turn on either shoulder. If he noticed a double coming, he could just spin away and convert on a baseline fadeaway jumper.
Absolutely.
The reality is that there wasn't an area of the floor where he wasn't comfortable scoring. That's what made him so difficult to scheme against. And
this one's funny. So he's spinning this direction. You can't take that action back. He's going to see the trap or double, whatever you want to call it, coming from here. So he just fades back to create the space.
He wasn't comfortable.
See that? It's too late to spin away from the double at that point, because that would be coming here, and he just completed a spin this direction. So he can't just spin back. Might as well just fade.
Scoring. That's
how
what
you
made
guard it, how you stop it.
him so difficult to scheme against. And remember, he was this dominant offensively during an era when the pace slowed down and the team's physical defensive play caused scoring to drastically decrease. In fact, from the 1993-94 to the 1999-2000 season, there was only one player who averaged over 30 points per game. It was Michael Jordan in 1996, and he nearly averaged over 50% from the field. It wasn't until the 2008-09 season that Dwayne Wade scored as many points and was as efficient as Jordan in 96.
That's what he was that guy, man.
By that
D-Wade.
time, the league had made many changes to increase scoring. What Michael was doing during that time was simply unheard of. He had every weapon in his arsenal to be the most dominant scorer we have ever seen. But there's one last factor that proves that the last statement made is true. The toughest situation for a player to score is when the game is on the line. When you're a player of his caliber, everyone in the building knows that you're going to take the last shot. For some players, the weight of the moment is too much to handle. This is where a player's mental toughness allows him to score no matter how high the pressure is. There is no question that Michael thrived in those moments. He was never hesitant. He never looked lost or scared. He knew exactly what he wanted to do, and he delivered time and time again. He once revealed his secret to be the most clutch player in NBA history.
No matter what the game is, or who you're playing against, you have to want the ball, the clock, the pressure. You block all that out. All you think about is what you have to do to win. That's why I love the end of the game, because it comes down to that one moment when it's all in my hands. But the ultimate test of determination comes playoff time. Those are the moments you put in the hours of practice for. Those are the ones you never forget.
He wanted the ball, and he loved the moment. It takes a truly...
You guys notice it's always the guy who's working the hardest that wants the ball at the end because he knows he's the most prepared. Bird, Jordan, obviously. Kobe had the same mentality. He was outworking everybody in practice, so his mindset was the same. I should have the ball. I'm the one who's preparing for this the most.
Special player to have that mindset. It's no wonder that he helped his team win a national championship in college, and then he helped his team win an NBA championship with his clutch play.
He more than helped on that one.
There's no other player who could say that they did the same thing. That is when you know that you're dealing with the greatest scorer ever. But what about you?
Hands down.
What do you think was the key to Jordan's scoring greatness? Do you agree that he's the greatest scorer in league history? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.
The only other one, great video, by the way. Link is down below, you guys, for Basketball Universe. That's going to be in the description. From everybody I've witnessed in my lifetime, hands down, Michael Jordan's the greatest scorer I've ever seen. He scores in every possible way. The only one I could say could possibly argue, I can't make that argument because I didn't see it, would be maybe Wilt Chamberlain. But maybe there's some older heads out there watching right now, and you can make stick a comment down below for your case. But for everything I've witnessed with my own eyes, it's hands down Michael Jordan. And it's not because of one thing. Like this video highlights, he did it in different ways in different stages of his career. So when he was young, he was the greatest scorer in the world just off of like a decent fundamentals and extreme athleticism. And then as the next repeat era, he did it with pure fundamentals and like good athleticism, but he wasn't leaning on, he was leaning way heavier on his fundamentals, his footwork, his patience, his basketball IQ. He relied on that way more than he relied on his athleticism. So that means like athleticism wise, he was the greatest scorer I've ever seen. And then basketball IQ wise, he was again the greatest scorer I've ever seen. So in other words, like, it's one of those cases where like I don't care what Jordan's body ever looked like. He could have been 6'3", could have been 6'9", he could have been 6'1". He could have a high jumping ability, he could have a low jumping ability. I think no matter what, this dude was gonna figure out a way to score buckets. Like he's just good at it, no matter what. So yeah, I think he just relied on his athleticism when he was young, because who wouldn't? Use it while you got it. And after that, he proved that he's way smarter than everybody else on a basketball court. So, yeah, I'd like to hear what your guys' opinion is. Who's the greatest scorer of all time? And not like numbers, like who is the best at putting the ball in the basket. All right. I was just envisioning what you guys are going to be commenting. So I'll have to be patient and wait for it, guys. Let me know in the comments. I will see you all soon. Thank you so much for hanging out and watching. Like the video on the way out if you haven't yet. I'd appreciate it. And subscribe if you want more content like this, everybody. Have a wonderful, chill night. Be safe, have fun, tell your loved ones you love them. Be good to your people, be good to yourself. And most importantly, it's the be water, my friends.